So if you've ever seen the 2013 Snowpiercer movie, it's an interesting watch. They actually did a show as well, but I'm not sure if the show is the same as the movie, so I'm referencing the movie. But the basic premise is this. There was a train that was hurtling through a frozen wasteland, and it was carrying the last remnants of humanity. So at the back of the train, there was only a certain amount of resources to go around, so people had to resort to cannibalism just to survive. At the front of the train, it was nice. It was like a paradise. Everyone had everything they needed, sushi, back rubs. And if you step foot off the train, you would die because there was an ecological collapse and there was global cooling. So if you stuck your arm outside the train for just like 2 seconds, it would freeze and break. It was pretty crazy. And the situation in that film is eerily similar to where we find ourselves today as a species, if you think about it. I mean, what is the Earth? The Earth is like that train. And the Earth only has a certain amount of resources, despite what people tell you. So, for instance, there's only a certain amount of nickel, iron, copper, gold, oil, and etc. that can go around. And once extracted, it's not coming back. And if you look at China, for instance, the rate of growth and expansion is just unparalleled. It's like every year they are building a new city. And there's people in other developing countries as well who are doing the same. So it's not like overnight we can just switch to alternatives. People just say use wind and solar. I mean, that stuff is great and I'm all for it. The problem is, however, oil is used in the manufacturing and in the production process. Oil is used to manufacture polymers, things that make the world go round. So you can't just overnight switch to alternatives. There is no viable alternative to oil. So they tell us that at a certain point, we are going to need a second Earth to plunder. And I just tell people, well, let the Americans know there's oil on some distant world, and they're going to get there first before everybody else, believe me. So ironically, at the same time that we are experiencing these issues, we've got this great invention called AI. The head of Google said that AI is akin to the discovery of fire. This is civilization-changing stuff. So the way that we've got to look at things is this. The Earth is honestly just a rock in space. All the lines of division that you see, the borders and etc., they don't exist. They exist on a map, on paper, but they don't exist in reality. This is science. And I know there's riots and people angry about immigrants, illegal immigrants, whatever. I understand this. But the premise itself is wonky, okay? Because at any point, you can just adjust these lines in the map, and it happens throughout history all the time. And now suddenly your entire border has changed. What if America conquered Mexico and made Mexico a state? Well, there wouldn't be such issues with immigration anymore, would there be? So it's really silly, the premise itself. But the Earth is, like Carl Sagan said, a pale blue dot that's floating in an endless cosmic sea. And that's the way that we have to start to see ourselves and one another. We are merely borrowing the resources on this planet. We don't own the resources on this rock. Look at all the species which have come and gone. We are borrowing the resources on this rock. It's like at a job, there's a pizza party. They get one pizza and they cut it up into equal slices for everybody. But there's a guy complaining, saying that he wants a larger slice. He's entitled to a larger slice, and he tries to convince you that you should also have a larger slice. Well, dude, it's just not possible, right? Again, this is science. It's not scientifically possible for everybody to have an equally large slice of a single pizza. Conversely, you can look at the Earth like an island, and imagine there's a boat that shipwrecks on this island, and the boat has 10 people on it. It's not like one guy out of the 10 would get out onto the island and accumulate all the resources and then demand that everybody else works for him and pays him in seashells just to get their share. I mean, maybe he would, but the other people there, the 9, would revolt against the one guy and hit him with a rock over his head, right? No, instead, the people, the unfortunate souls on this island, would work out a way to equally distribute the resources amongst themselves for survival. That's the way that we have to look at the Earth in our situation today. We have to just multiply a little bit outwardly, right? And we have to use our best tools and technologies to figure out how we can accommodate for, almost nearly 10 billion people. So how do we do this? We can use AI. We can use the best tools in technology. Hollywood tells us that AI will kill us all. Well, look at what we're doing to the planet and to ourselves now without AI. We are killing each other as it is. So I say, take the leap of faith, take the chance, push the button. Let's use AI to develop a world model which says we've got a certain amount of resources here. We've got a certain number of people here. How then can we equitably distribute the resources so that everyone has an equal slice of the pie? We can do this, but we've got to put our minds to it, and we're not. We're instead using AI to construct funny memes on the internet. We're using AI to clone celebrity voices. It's really a shame. Our priorities are out of whack, and we are killing ourselves as a result. And the planet is dying as a result.